Parents are the builders not only of the child's body but also of the child's character. Pandit Shriram Sharma Acharya. Book title बच्चे और उनका मनोविज्ञान, Children and Their Psychology. The Perfect Universe and the Imperfect World. The omnipotent God made this universe perfect. Atom to the universe, each and everything is in perfect order. Each soul is born perfect. Then what makes this world imperfect? Full of imperfect people and imperfect lives. Read this book to understand how, despite being born perfect, a soul progresses on this life path, observing and learning everything from the world around, growing to be an individual who is not perfect yet tries to be. What makes this world imperfect? In our society today, there is an alarming growth of impatience, frustration, intolerance, hypersensitivity, etc. The powerful self-centered principality has locked on like a super glue on the hearts of today's generation. What is the root cause of all such problems? A child's unresolved queries and unattended problems. Today's educational system assures academic excellence but does not pay much focus on the holistic development of a child. Read this book to learn how to deal with children's problems and queries at various stages of life. Along with creating a financially sustainable environment for a child's upbringing, learn to create an environment where the child can thrive and grow to his or her full potential. How a child learns. The moment we look at a small child, we wonder what the child might be thinking. Then we give it a laugh, shrug it off, and get lost in the humdrum of life. Knowing what and how a child thinks, observes, and learns at different ages of life can add tremendous value not only to our parenting but also to our child's life. Read this book to learn child psychology lucidly, not just through Vedic perspective but also in line with the modern child psychologists of recent times. The caregiver's role is akin to a potter. A child is the future of a family, nation, and world. Firstly, we need to understand that the children are not just the progeny or parents' inheritance, but the heritage of society and nation. They have come through parents, but not for them. All great geniuses of the world are inspired and driven by their desire to enrich the lives of others. We want our future generations to be geniuses as well. But can we imbibe this attitude in ourselves first and then inspire our kin? A caregiver's role is similar to a potter who shapes wet clay to create beautiful pottery. Children are like wet clay, and we can mold them in any shape we desire. We don't make any effort. They are quick learners and absorb everything around them most of the time. Hence, it becomes important for parents and caregivers to practice what they preach. Read this book to understand the important role and behavior of a caregiver or parent in a child's development. Aham Brahmasmi. The term is used in Hindu and Yoga philosophy to describe the unity of the Atman, individual self or soul, with Brahman, the Absolute. It is typically translated as I am Brahman or less literally as I am divine. It reflects the ultimate goal of yoga, union with the higher self. The sentence Aham Brahmasmi makes a person feel that if I am a part of the eternal source of energy, the God who created the big ocean, mountain, planet, this whole universe, I should also try to become him by awakening his energy within me. Only then begins the moral progress of a person. Read the book to know when and how this journey begins and how, as a parent, grandparent, caregiver, aunt, uncle, family member or friend, government official or mere a society member or citizen. I can contribute to the making of wonderful future generation. Some excerpts from the book. The child will develop according to the environment you will create for the child. A child's future education, physical formation, behavior, nature, etc. all exist within this environment. We know a few birds, animals, etc. who change their appearance according to their circumstances. Their well-being lies in this change, but there is no intention of harm or well-being lies in determining the behavior or change in a child's behavior. This is a natural process which a child cannot live without being affected. The environment changes the life course of the child. Psychologists believe that there are two main reasons for the occurrence of antisocial tendencies in boys and girls. First, bad health, and second, bad environment. As has been pointed out above, the health of a person generally declines during the teenage years. When health deteriorates, almost everyone shows antisocial patterns in their behavior. Therefore, it is natural for boys and girls to show antisocial behavior too. The poor condition of the house, parents not understanding the situation of the child, children not understanding the changes in the environment, lack of proper nutrition and excessive work at home and school, etc. make the mental state of boys and girls unpleasant during adolescence. The child is a follower. Considering his parents and teachers as ideal, he or she tries to imitate them. Therefore, we have to be very careful in front of the children. There should not be any such thing in front of them from which they learn anything unwanted. If only good things are kept in front of them, then good qualities will emerge in their characters due to imitation. Role of punishment in character building. The famous child psychologist Mumford said that punishment, if it can have only effect, can only deter a person from committing a wrong act, but cannot produce a positive outlook. Punishment does not positively impact the child because it may suppress the child's feelings. For example, children around the age of 7 anticipate the sun and cycle as conscious beings because they see them moving. At the age of 8 to 10 years, children begin to understand whether an object itself is moving or has been brought into motion by external forces. Around the 11th year, children understand the presence of consciousness in plants and organisms or in the living entity itself. To teach moral conduct to the child, special attention should be paid based on 4 main principles. First, ethical behavior should be adopted as per the rules laid by society. Second, the child should be clearly told what is right and what is wrong. Third, on becoming understandable, the child should be told why some things are considered right and others as wrong. Fourth, those responsible for children should ensure that children get pleasant experiences for appropriate behavior and unpleasant for unethical behavior. That is, for moral behavior, the child should be rewarded or praised, and for immoral behavior, he or she should be punished or condemned. This is the psychological rule of any habit formation that should never be discounted. That is, never miss an opportunity to strengthen the habit. This rule should be applied in relation to moral habits. Love, encouragement, respect and security. These things are needed by children more than adults. An unwanted and neglected child easily becomes a sick and problematic child. Due to an unfavorable environment, many brilliant children get frustrated and misguided, while many weak and ordinary children thrive in favorable environments. The parents' prime responsibility is to create a conducive environment. It is not ideal for binding the children with negative rules all the time. The example of elders should be such that they get the motivation to do the right thing in due course of time. Some topics covered in the book: misconceptions about children, how to deal with children, crime in children and its treatment, children's curiosity, the moral development of children, tell stories to children,